I'm gonna start. Um, Basically, I'm gonna work today on trying to finish this game so I can get some videos up. I know it's been a long time. I just realized I haven't logged into this account since June, so I'm real sorry that I let my videos lax and I didn't finish the playthrough in 2024 like I wanted to. Or actually, I think it was 2023 that I started to. I don't know. I don't remember. But anyways, I just wanted to touch on some things. So I've been watching a lot of videos with Division 3, the 10 things that I want, and that kind of stuff. And I'm excited about Division 3 on the condition that it doesn't go further away from reality. And that's why I think this game here is Division 1 to me is real. And I know I beat this constantly, that this is my OG game. This is probably what I feel is probably one of the greatest games I've ever played. It's interesting when I look to see that I have more time in Division 2 than I do in Division 1, which is confusing to me because I was on this game like every day when it came out, right up until basically 2. So I don't know. Between that and World of Tanks, I played a lot of World of Tanks back then. I don't as much now, so it's probably why 2. But whenever I played these games, these were my main games. So I look at the things that I want to see out of 3 is I want to see it come back to the origin. Okay, like when you start Division 2, everybody's pissed at the division. Something happened in Hell's Kitchen. And it's like, I want to go back to a 2.5, right? I want to go from Division 1 to Division 3. I want the story between it. Okay. Even if my character dies at the end, you know what I mean? Like I want to go back to the grittiness of this game and the tactical, realistic close vibe basically of this game. The reduced gear sets, the grinding for the gear. I want to get away from being able to click my map and say I want to grind striker. That to me, that just ruined the game for me, because it's like we were having a discussion on someone else's channel about how 2 is way harder than 1, and I don't agree with that, because I feel like once you hit level 40, let's say, if you spend an hour in Summit or even in the open world, you could essentially get a heroic build. Maybe not a legendary, but at least a heroic build. And honestly, I don't really think legendary doesn't really do much for me. There's no mechanics to it other than drone spam and grenade stuff. I have a couple builds that I've been able to do some legendary stuff with. I go solo, which is probably my biggest problem. I was testing them with solo, but the grenade spams and the drone spams, to me, just that's not fun, right? So I basically want to reset back to the grittiness of this game, even if it's a game between the 2 games. I think 1 Dark Zone is awesome. I think it would be nice if they did a crossplay and a day-night cycle, and even if like the nighttime the enemies were a little harder, it would be kind of cool. I would like to see where it's an open world. I think it would be kind of hard to do because the mob density would have to be up, or the respawn rate would have to be kind of extreme to have everybody in one mission, or in one land basically. I think you'd have a hard time keeping up with the mob density of that. But the open world would be really cool, where you're running around and you see, I mean, they do it in the Dark Zone, so they ought to be able to do it in the PvE area. I would like to see basically I think it would be really cool if there was one big dark zone, and during the day the dark zone was PvE only, and then at night it turned into PvP. Because I know not everybody wants to do the PvP, and I think it would be a nice little compromise, and maybe the nighttime could be longer than the daytime cycle. Just something to that effect. I think that would be really cool. I think it would bring a lot more people into the dark zone at random. I would like to see a form of survival in the game, and just kind of come back to the roots a little bit, right? I would like to see mini incursions like what we have in this game. The raids are cool, but I've done both raids twice.
You holding it together?
And they're awesome for the first couple months, which, I mean, everything is, right? All the incursions, even once people figure out the mechanics, they just blow through them. So, but I would like to see the mini 4-man incursions like we have in this one, right? Is there 4 or 5 of them? Right? I would like to see all these little incursions in the next one. So, and I don't know. I want to see life back in my base. You know, I want the 3 wings to be able to basically go through and level up the areas. I want the NPCs in all of the base of operations and all the safe houses to actually be meaningful. They, like in this game, everybody in a building in a safe house has a story, and there's a connection there as you play. And you got Rhodes. You know, I know Fei Lao's gone, but it would be nice to have Fei Lao back. You know what I mean? Jessica Candle needs to be back. To me, that's like the number one thing. They need to fill in the gap with Jessica Candle. That's why I think a 2.5 to would be great, or a 1.5, I guess. 1.5 would be cool to fill in those gaps. But Benitez, like when you played through this game, you got to build a relationship with Benitez and Rhodes and all them. And then when you get to 2, they don't do anything. They hardly even talk. Like they completely was like, well, yeah, these guys aren't important anymore. We'll just make them regular NPCs. So I kind of want that to come back into it. I want the story to go back to a realistic feel. I don't think Black Tusk, to me, Black Tusk was too early. If you want to do Black Tusk would have been great to introduce in 3. I don't think it was great to introduce it in 2. I don't particularly care for Black Tusk. I think it's kind of I don't know. It's a little far-fetched to me. Whereas like in this one, you had the Last Man Battalion was pretty cool. We could have worked our way up to Black Tusk. You know, like when we first played, we went against our normal enemies, and then all of a sudden you got Black Tusk just shows up and takes over. And I don't know. I just kind of thought that was overdone. The other thing that I really would like to see is, I'm not a fan of specializations, but I understand their purpose. So I would like to see something kind of like I don't want to say like but like a skill tree. Okay. I'd like to see a skill tree. I would like to see, basically the specializations in the skill tree along with the perks, right? Like have a cool little thing where your character's in the middle, similar to Path of Exile, but not nearly as intense, right? So you have all the specs in certain areas, and you work your way to those specs with your character. I do understand, like, the main thing with this game is that you can have multiple builds on each character, whereas that might bring you down to where you're choosing a path and that's the path you're stuck with. But I don't entirely agree with that. I think every build you could have it so that you set your skill sets, so you're basically your skills, your perks, your specs, and all that stuff can be unlocked through this thing as you level, and those stay with that build. You save it like a loadout. and then you switch back to the, when you switch, then you kind of do it again, kind of thing, or something. I don't know. I would like to see a little bit more of, to me, what this game was kind of intended to be, right? I kind of felt like this game was like a World of Warcraft type, Guild Wars type shooter. And so I'd like to see somehow that mechanic come in. The specializations in 2, they're fine, but we had the same thing here. They were just perks. So I'd like to see kind of a mesh between, whereas, you know, you could level up through and pick a certain build and kind of hone your character to that build. Even if it was like a Diablo Path of Exile type thing where your character is locked, like you pick this character and that's the one you do, and then you go through. I think that would be kind of cool. That would allow you to build more characters. You know, like in this game I have 6 characters now. I have with 2 games. The other game I have 2 characters and a hardcore, and because of the constant dumping of the game, I stopped doing the hardcore. So anyways, that's kind of my thing. The main thing I want more than anything is for this game to come back to its roots and have the Division 1 vibe, right? The gear sets, just the look and feel of everything. I want it to be more like 1. I don't want my character wearing flip-flops and that kind of dumb stuff, right? I think we got a little carried away with some of the clothes that went into 2. But I think it would bring back the players, the real hardcore stuff. I mean, like, this game here is super popular right now. It is every year around Christmas time they go on sale and a bunch of people buy them. But I don't know, I just kind of feel like it'd be awesome to kind of fill the gap between 1 and 2, and I kind of hope they do that. And I'm hoping with Garrity in charge, he'll bring it back to the way I think it should be. Even the seasons, right? I would not mind if it had a rotation, so that it was, you know, summer, spring, fall, you know, winter, all that stuff was in place. To me would be really cool. And yeah, if you had to change your clothes, you didn't have to, but whatever, just have it so that you had that. But that's kind of my hope. I'm really hoping if 3 comes out, they kind of hit on some key things to bring some players back and to kind of touch on it. You know, it's like I kind of felt like the first time you played Assassin's Creed, the first game, that blew so many people away with what they did. And I haven't played, I think I started to play 2, but I hadn't ever played anything else as far as Assassin's Creed. And this game here kind of did that to me. It triggered that same stuff that Assassin's Creed did, the look, the feel, and all that stuff. So that's why I praise this game, and I think it's awesome. I consider it a masterpiece. I know a lot of people don't, but anyways, that's where I'm at. So I'm gonna help this person out. Nope, I guess I'm not. But anyways, so take care. See you in the next one. I'm gonna go through now, and I'm gonna run through and try to finish the story, break it up into videos, and continue on my journey and get to end game. And then I'll probably start streaming this a little bit more with this character to kind of keep going. My gear score is very low. I think I'm only at World Tier 1 with this guy. I haven't quite finished it yet. So I'm going to run around, do some stuff, build it up, and get it to World Tier 5 and go from there. So we'll keep going. So anyways, I want to thank everybody for all their attention, their subs. I'm going to change a few things in 2025, but not much. So, but a fair amount. So anyways, take care. Have a great time. See you in the next video. And hopefully all the people that have kind of walked away since I stopped doing these videos will come back so they can finish watching the story. So anyways, take care.